By the time the Lone Wolf and Cub saga reached its final two films, it had evolved into something bigger than just a revenge story. It became a wandering poem about death, duty, and fatherhood. Today, we're looking at the final entries in the series, Baby Caught in the Land of Demons and White Heaven in Hell. Two films that go from razor-sharp realism to full-on manga madness. Let's go international. Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Caught in the Land of Demons. There is a samurai, there's a baby, there's a sword in the baby cart. Welcome to Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Caught in the Land of Demons. The fifth installment in a legendary series that's equal parts blood, beauty, and existential dread, with the occasional splash of bathhouse nudity. If you are into stylized samurai carnage, complex moral codes, and toddlers silently judging grown men's actions, this film might just be your thing. The film opens with our titular assassin, Ito Ogami, receiving a job in a very unconventional way by fighting 5 elite warriors, each of whom gives him a fragment of the mission details only if he defeats them in combat. If that sounds insane, it's because it kind of is, but it also sets the tone. Ritual, honor, and bloodshed. The mission? A high-stakes assassination tied to political corruption, hidden illegitimacy, and clan succession. Pretty standard samurai stuff. Ogami is hired to eliminate a treasurer who's been protecting a secret, illegitimate heir, threatening the line of succession for a powerful clan. Meanwhile, Daigoro, Ogami's ever-silent son, has his own little subplot. After being separated from his father, he refuses to speak while enduring multiple tests of character and honor. He's offered candy, manipulated by strangers, and even survives being flogged by a random lady with trust issues. A day in the life, really. Eventually, the story converges with an epic beachside battle and a thrilling water-based duel, easily among the best action set pieces in the whole series. At its heart, Baby Caught in the Land of Demons is about identity. False ones, hidden ones, and the power they hold in feudal Japan. The idea of fragmented knowledge, receiving the mission in pieces, mirrors the political secrecy within the clan. Everything is ritualized and layered in blood. Ogami's job isn't just to kill, it's to preserve balance by eliminating those who threaten the hierarchy. That's what makes him more than a sword for hire. He's a surgeon, cutting away the rot. Daigoro's subplot, meanwhile, is a quieter meditation on inherited honor. His father doesn't teach through lectures, but by example. So we watch this toddler silently endure suffering, resist temptation, and emerge more, ardent? Enlightened? It's ambiguous, but it's effective, even if it does feel like it's from a slightly different movie. And then there is that climax, the beach battle. Pure cinematic zen. This film is obsessed with ritual, in combat, in parenting, in death. Ogami never just kills, he draws his sword with purpose. He fights with precision. Every strike feels earned and every death has weight. Another recurring theme? Corruption and legacy. The clan Ogami is hired to intervene in is tearing itself apart over bloodlines and hidden children. A reflection of the very system Ogami once sought to serve, is now its critic, its executioner, and its survivor. And of course, parenthood. Ogami's parenting style is best described as trial by fire, but is deeply committed to raising Daigoro in the harsh, Bushido-steeped world they inhabit. Daigoro's silent endurance speaks volumes. He's a kid being shaped not by toys or lullabies, but by the sword. Now let's talk about some of the things I liked and what I didn't like as much. Director Kenji Misumi was a beast when it came to cinematic composition. His use of negative space, wide-angle combat, and sound design helped elevate this from pop to poetry. Misumi passed away shortly after making this film, making it one of his final artistic statements in the Lone Wolf saga. Cinematographer Fujio Morita works magic here. Whether it's capturing a blade slicing water mid-air or framing Ogami as a silhouette in the field, this movie looks damn good. Lighting, texture, contrast, all on point. And the score? I love the score. Absolutely banging. From melancholic flute themes to thumping taiko during fights, it gives every scene gravitas and groove. It's stylish, moody, and drives the emotion home. Ogami Ito, as always, stoic perfection. Tomasaburo Wakayama is the lone wolf. Regal, deadly, emotionally distant, yet somehow noble. Daigoro, also great as always. But this is where it gets a bit tricky. His solo section is interesting. He's tested, he stays silent, he survives. But narratively, it just doesn't feel like it belongs here. It's almost like the writers didn't know what to do with him this time, so they slapped in a morality vignette mid-film. It's cool, but disjointed. Like they paused the movie to show us an episode of Daigoro, Junior Samurai. The fight scenes, fun, brutal, and well choreographed. Misumi knows his angles, but the editing can be a bit sloppy. Some cuts feel awkward and a few transitions yank you out of the action instead of immersing you further. You'll enjoy the ride, but you might hit a speed bump or two along the way. That said, the water duel and beach battle, easily among the best moments in the series. That stuff lives rent-free in my brain. At the end, guys, Lone Wolf and Cub Baby Cart in the Land of Demon might not be the tightest entry in the saga, but it's still loaded with striking imagery, high-stakes swordplay, and haunting moments of silence that hit harder than a katana to the gut. I'm giving Lone Wolf and Cub Baby Cart in the Land of Demon a 7 out of 10. Moving on. It's got samurai, it's got snow, it's got zombie swordmen, and a 10-second shot of a toddler's butt for absolutely no reason. This is Lone Wolf and Cub, White Heaven in Hell, the final film in one of the most badass and influential samurai sagas ever made. It's beautiful, brutal, weird, and kind of unfinished. White Heaven in Hell picks up with Ogami Ito still on his blood-soaked road to revenge, rolling through a snow-covered purgatory with his baby boy Daigoro. His enemies, the Yagyu clan, who at this point are just throwing whatever they got at him. Assassins, ninjas, and yes, undead swordsmen. This time, the story is refreshingly simple. No multiple mission briefs, no political side quests, just a straight-up 3-act revenge tale. Act 1, Yagyu Ritsudo sends his son and supernatural assassins after Ito. Act 2, Ito prepares for the showdown while surviving relentless attacks. Act 3, a final confrontation in a snowy wasteland that feels more mythic than real. That's it. No digression, no subplot where Daigoro joins a silent monastery or gets flogged by strangers. Just a clean narrative flow, for once. The story this time plays out like a myth, like an epic poem about a lone warrior facing down fate itself in a white void. There is something almost surreal about it, especially with the supernatural element. The death of Yagyu's son early in the film sets everything in motion. Yagyu Retsudo, already consumed by hatred, becomes even more obsessive. He's no longer just protecting his political legacy, he's lashing out from grief. Ogami, meanwhile, is more silent and determined than ever. This feels like the end game, the moment where both forces, after 6 films worth of build-up, must finally clash. Except that finality never really comes. But we'll get to that later. This film leans hard into death as ritual, a common thread in the series, but here it's taken to another level. The snow becomes symbolic, a blank canvas for faith, death, and transcendence. White heaven, white hell, same difference. There's also a big focus on legacy and obsession. Retsudo's hatred transcends reason. He watches his son die, he throws everything he has at Ogami, and he still vows revenge even after his entire world collapses. Ogami, on the other hand, walks with death, but not out of obsession. It's duty, Bushido, a promise to his dead wife. His purpose is clean, almost terrifyingly so. And then there is Daigoro, who continues to embody innocence in the face of all of this. Even if, for some reason, we are treated with an extended, awkwardly long shot of his bare butt. I mean, 10 to 15 seconds of toddler cheeks. Why? Was it symbolic? Was it to prove he's untouched by the horrors of war? Or did someone just leave the camera rolling? Either way, it's a choice. Now, let's talk about what worked for me and what didn't. Visually, this might be the most striking film in the series. Directed by Yoshiyuki Kuroda, this entry takes a different stylistic turn from Kenji Misumi's earlier films. There's more experimentation, surreal sequences, dreamlike pacing, and that climactic battle that feels like it was painted on a scroll. The score? Still a banger. I really love the score in this one. Atmospheric, haunting, with just the right touch of epic samurai doom. It's also moody, epic, and full of tension. It keeps you locked in, even when the undead samurai start moonwalking through the woods. The fight scenes? As entertaining as ever. Fluid, brutal, and visually distinct. The final snow showdown? Straight up legendary. Probably one of the best set pieces in the entire series. And again, I actually appreciate how linear the story is. No random side missions, no subplots about Daigoro getting adopted by stranger or fighting raccoons in the forest. Just a clean 3-act arc. It works. The pacing is sharp, every scene feels like it's building towards something. But here's the thing. The fantastical elements, they are a weird flex. I don't hate them conceptually. The whole series has manga vibes from the jump, but they are not earned. There is no setup across the earlier films for Ghost Samurai to suddenly appear. It feels like a genre switch in the final act of a 6-part story. Jarring, to say the least. This is the only film in the series to go full on supernatural. Even though the manga had more room for fantastical elements, the films until now had mostly played things grounded. Bloody, yes, but believable. This one said, let's get weird. And my biggest problem? No closure. The final scene has Retsudo walking away vowing to one day kill Ogami. And that's it. No resolution, no final duel, just fade to white. You spend 6 films building to the ultimate showdown, and instead of fireworks, you get a snowstorm and an ellipsis. It's not bad, it's just unfinished, and that's a shame. Now, a lot of people ask, why did the series end here? The answer? Budget and studio politics. The 6th film underperformed at the box office, and the studio pulled the plug. No more movies. No final duel between Ogami and Retsudo. No conclusion to the vendetta, just a quiet to be continued that never came. At the end, guys, Lone Wolf and Cub White Heaven in Hell is a beautiful, ambitious, and flawed finale. It gives us some of the most haunting visuals and thrilling action in the series, but also takes some odd narrative detours that don't quite land. It's not the ending we deserved, but it's the one we got. And in some weird way, maybe that's the point. Ogami Ito's path never really ends. It just disappears into the snow. I'm giving Lone Wolf and Cub White Heaven in Hell a 6 out of 10. Now, after reviewing all of them and understanding what the series is really about, here is my ranking from worst to best. Number 6, White Heaven in Hell. Number 5, Baby Caught to Hades. Number 4, Baby Caught in Peril. Number 3, Baby Caught in the Land of Demons. Number 2, Baby Caught at the River Styx. And finally, number 1, of course, Sword of Vengeance. That's my ranking, but overall, I had fun with all these movies and I'm glad I got to review them. This is going to be my last review for a while. I want to go back to the video essay format and focus on that for the rest of the year. I've got some really nice videos lined up and I cannot wait to share them with you guys. In the meantime, keep smiling, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!
See you next Wednesday.